công an Philippines.
Flash beans. Is my screen visible to you? Kindly quickly confirm. Great. So we're discussing about the arrays, okay? And let's consider an array in square bracket A is equal to 10, 20, 30. Okay. I want to write a function f. Okay. Let's say static void function f in square bracket. Okay. What I want you to do is to write a function which display the contents of an array. I want you to write a function which will display the contents of an array. Okay, I am not providing the length of an array. I am not providing the length of an array. So you will have to use a Google to get the concept how to find the length of an array. I hope it is clear to you. I had declared an array, initialized it, passed it to the function, and I want you to write the function which will display the contents of an array, but I haven't provided you the length. Okay, so we have declared an array, making a call to the function. I have declared static void f, SOP using for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than a dot length, I plus plus SOP a of I. Let's run this code and check whether it is working or not, or whether it is giving an error. Let's check it. If you run this particular code, it displays the contents of an array. It displays the contents of an array. Okay. So whenever you declare an array, by default, Java will provide us something called as a length property, which will give me the count of the number of elements. Okay. It will give me the count of the elements. It is especially useful when we are initializing an array because we are not providing the length of it. So when I make a call to the function, control comes over here. Okay, control comes over here, and then you say I less than a dot length. So what will happen is the length is 3, so it will display a of I, which is a of 0, which is 10, a of 1, which is 20, a of 2, which is 30. Is it clear? Understood? I have not written a public because it doesn't make any sense, because we haven't learned how to create a package. Access specifier coming into the picture when we discuss the something called as a package level scope. So at that time we'll be discussing it. Right now, whether you write the public or not, it won't have any issues. Is it clear? Is the code clear to you? Okay, thank you. A dot length, if someone asks what is length, kindly say that length is a property which gives me the count of the number of elements. Let's write another function called as f1 and again pass an array. And let's copy the code. But now I'll give you a different way of writing the code to display the contents. Let's make it as f1. Okay, and what I will do is I will use something called as a advanced code which normally the Java programmers use. Okay, what you should do is you should always use this particular code. Why I'm telling you to do it? Because here there is a possibility that I might make a mistake. For example, in the previous case, I may say I less than equal to a of length. In this case, what will happen? Length is 3, so it will be 0, 1, 2, 3. The loop is going to run how many times? 4 times. But that case will never occur in this particular for each loop. How to read this for each loop is something like this. And always use this. What is the name of an array? A. What is the name of an array? A. Okay. Now from this array, it is going to pick up the first element. What is the first element? 10. Place it in M1, display the contents. M1. Then read the next element. What is the next element? 20. Okay. Next element is 20. Place it in M1, display M1. Go to the array, pick up the next element, which is 30, display it. Go to the array, where is the end of it? It will come out of this particular loop. It will come out of the particular loop. Are you with me? Let's run this and see whether it runs or not. I guess main function additional I have typed. This is using the classical for loop. This is using the latest for each loop. Okay. Now, what is M1? You could give any variable name. Why I have given only int M1? For a very simple reason. I know that each array element is of the type integer. So I could have given any name. For example, I could have said int R. In this case, what I will do, I will say R. I hope it is clear to you. Syntax says that on the right hand side, after the colon, you write down the name of an array. Before colon, you write down the variable name of the data type. So what is a variable name? Variable name is A. Individual elements of an array is an integer. So you on the left hand side write int R. On the left hand side say int R. And then you display the contents of R. That means what happens is pick up the first element. First element is integer. So place it in R, display it. Pick up the next element, place it R, display it. Is it clear to you? The syntax says for int variable name colon target from where it is going to read and display the value of R. What is the advantage of that loop which is written on line number 20 and 21? You will never get array out of bound problem. Why? Because you are never going to cross the size of an array. You are never going to cross the length of an array. Okay, so do not use this method. This is an old method. Always try to use this particular method. Is it clear? Okay. Now, let's comment this out. Now I want you to write a function. I want you to write a function which is going to return the average of these three elements. The average of these three elements. Okay. So system dot out dot println. What I want is I want you to write a function find average, which is going to display the average of all the elements of an array. Okay, so I want you to write a code which will use this particular latest loop for int r colon a. Use this kind of a loop to find the to find the average and return that particular average. I want you to write a loop which is going to return an average. Okay. No, you're not supposed to display it. You're supposed to return. See, if you look over here, find average is a function which is displayed in the main. Okay. So you're supposed to write a function which is going to return the average. So what I will do is, for the sake of brevity, I will copy this. I will remove void. What I want to return. Let's assume I want to return a double. I'll remove this. And here I will say sum plus equal to R. We'll declare a local variable called as sum. And after this, what we are going to do? We are going to say return sum divided by a dot length. A dot length. Okay. So let's make it 11, 20, and 30. So pay attention. Let's check whether it will work or not. I'm relying on the length to divide it by 3. One moment, let me take the call. Okay. So what I have done? I have an array with 11, 20, and 30. Let's make it 31. Okay. I'm making a call to find average. Total comes over here. I want to return a double value. My sum is an integer. My a dot length, what it is, you have to tell me whether it's an integer or not. And then I will do the division and return the value, and let's see whether I get a right answer or not. So I get 20.0. I get 20.0. It is returning a double value, no issues about it. But when I do the addition of 31, 20 and 11, what I should get? I should get something called as a 62. Yes or no? And 62 divided by 3 will give me 62 divided by 3 will give me 20, because this is integer. Yes or no? Right? And accordingly, it is sending a double, which is 20.0, and that value is getting displayed. But I wanted the correct answer, that is 62 divided by 3. I wanted the answer in double. So tell me, what should I do now? You can type it in the chat window. You could type it in the chat window. What should I do? What changes I need to make in the program? Typecasting. Yes, great, Vishal. So tell me. No, I don't want to change. I don't want to change the data type of sum. I don't want to change the data type of sum. Typecast to double. How? I want that instruction. I want something to be done to line number 32. That particular line you should type it. I do not want to change the data type of sum, because sum is always going to be integer. I know that. I want a typecasting instruction from you. Double sum. Okay. So Manjot says double and apply it to the entire thing. Abhishek says only apply double to sum. Let's check this out. Run it.
ये मम्मी ने गलत बात है मम्मी की बस
So we know that a double upon int will be double. Okay, so I'm relying on it. I'm typecasting sum to double, and it should work. And it should work. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to everyone? My a dot length is integer. That's perfectly fine. What I will do is simply typecast it to double. So double upon int will be double, and I'll get the correct answer 20.6666 and so on. Is it clear? Okay. So step one, what I want you to do is, I want you to accept the n from the user. Let's assume I have entered n as 4. Step two, declare an array and accept the data. Declare an array and accept the data. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to write two functions. Find max and find min. Okay. So what should find max do? It should return the maximum value. What should find min do? It should return the minimum value. That means point number one, declare an array of size 4. Sorry, declare an array of n. Step 2, accept the data. Step 3, make a call to find max and find min. What should find max do? Return the max. What should find min do? Return the min. Clear? Understood? So write the code quickly. So means, let me check out right from the beginning. Public class means static in find max. Good. Good. Let's check the second program, max. Okay. I have got two solutions. Both the solutions are right. One of you has used length. Another one has relied on the classic, the latest method for each. But both of them are right. So I hope you'll be completing this. In case you're not in a position to complete it, the solutions will be uploaded. Have a look at it. So let's assume user has entered 8 and we have entered the marks obtained by the student in a particular subject. Let's assume it's a Java exam out of 100 and these are the marks available over there. Okay. Now how the grades are calculated is something called as a relative grading. Okay. In the relative grading, what we do is we find the maximum marks obtained. So what is the maximum marks? It is 95. It is 95. So how the grade A plus should be given? It should be max. That means whatever are the max available within the limit of 10. That means if the student gets the marks between 86 and 95, then it is A plus, that is max minus 10. For A, it will be max minus 20. Okay. For B, it will be max minus 30. For C, it will be max minus 40. Otherwise, if it is not falling in the range, it will be F. It will be F. Is the question clear to you? Understood? Let's assume the paper was very tough. Like how your job paper is going to be. Okay. Let's assume the marks scored out of 100 are something like this. Okay. N is 5. Okay. The same criteria will apply. Whatever is the maximum marks, 60. Since it's a relative grading, A plus will be max minus 10. The same. Okay. Understood? Clear? It is assumed that a student doesn't get the marks which don't fall in this particular range. So now according to this, you should be displaying the grades obtained by the student. So step 1, accept the value of n. Step 2, accept the data in an array and then display the grade. And display the grade, that means let's assume this will be the grade for the first student, for the second, for the third, for the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. You have to display the grades of it. Is the question clear to you? Is the question clear? Accept n from the user, accept marks from the user. Two test cases have been given to you and accordingly display the grades. Assume that n is 8. We have entered the marks of the 8 subject in Java. The grading should be done as follows. Find the maximum. Minus 10 will be maximum till minus 10 will be A plus. Maximum minus 20 will be A. Max minus 30 will be B. Max minus 40 within that range will be C. Is it clear to you? Yes, Yuvraj, is it clear to you? That means I am providing you the range not based on the absolute value, but based on the maximum value. Marks will be integer, yes. You can do everything in the main if you're not comfortable with the function. Declared n accepted. Marks, close date, marks is equal to marks 0. Then you found out the max. Okay. Max marks is equal to I. Okay, good. Then what you said for entire marks, if marks minus 10 less than I and I less than max marks, grade is A plus, 20 less than I. Okay. And then you excluded those marks. Good. Okay, one solution I got it. Okay, try to complete it. This was a little bit tricky, but then you should be in a position to solve this. Next coding question. You're supposed to declare two arrays of size n and m. Let's assume the size is 3. You enter the data as 10, 20, 30. You declare the size as 3. You enter the data as 10, 20, 30. What I want you to do is, I want you to write a function. First array, let's call this as x. Second array, let's call it as y. X, the size, y, the size, and the job of this function is, the job of the function is to return true if the contents are same or contents are equal. Return false if the contents are not equal. That means the return type of this function is Boolean. This is the first case. So point number 1, what we are going to check? We are going to check if the size is same. Assume that the size is same. Then what should I do? I should simply check the contents of it. The moment the contents are not matching, it should return false. So point number 1, in the function, what you are going to do? You are going to check the size. If n not equal to m, if they are not equal, there is no point in comparing the values. Simply return false. What I'm trying to tell you is something like this. Assume that we have entered the size as 4, right? So what will happen is, check the contents. Are they equal? They are not equal. So you simply should return the false. You simply should return the false. In case the size is same, and the contents are different, the moment you find the first difference in the content, what you should do? You should return false. You should return false. If the first element is same, then check for the next element and keep on doing it till the last element. If the last element is not matching, then what you should do? You should return false. So you will return true only and only if the size is same as well as the contents are same. If the size is different, return false. If the contents are different, return false. Is it clear to you? Is it clear? First will be, in the main you will be accepting n and then the contents of x, then you'll be accepting m, then checking the contents of y. Clear? Understood? Then what you do is you compare the value of m and n. If the values are not same, do not make a call to the function. Do not make a call to the function, because why to basically call if the order is not same. In case they are same, then only you should make a call to the function, and then function should return true or false. As the difficulty level is increasing, the time taken to code is increasing. Next, accept a number from the user, accept the data in an array, pass the array to a function, now what should this particular function do is, it should check whether each number is a prime or not. 10 is not a prime number, 3 is a prime number, so what will happen? Count will now be incremented by 1. Is 7 a prime number? Yes, count will now be incremented by 1, it becomes 2. Is 8 a prime number? No. Is 11 a prime number? Yes. So final count is, end of it, this particular function should return the value as 3. That means what I am doing, I want you to write a function which is going to check each and every element of an array is a prime or not, and at the end of it, it should return the count of the number of prime elements in an array. Let me check meanwhile whether anyone has written the previous code. Check equal arrays, int A, int L, int B, you're not, check the second size. Okay, directly you are checking the contents, not equal to return false. Outside of this, you say return true. Okay, that's good. And here, after accepting this, if n is not equal to all, no need of calling the function, else you're making a call to the function. Good. Check equal array, equality, return false, return true, and if n is not equal to display false, they are not equal, else make a call, check equality. Okay, only 2 students have written the code. Let me check Manjot's code equal or not. N x m y n equal to m. Then only go inside. Use a two nested loop. You do not need a two nest. Why use a nested loop? It's a single dimensional array. You could have used the same index for x as well as for y, Manjot. Whatever you're using this, when you have to use this two nested loop only when it's a single multi-dimensional array, otherwise no. So that will be the end of the today's session over here. I hope on the Coding Ninja you have on the arrays and you have started working on those array examples. Clear? You already know the course handout, it has been mailed to you. You already are aware of the first FA syllabus, okay? Which is going to be on the 1st of March. Timings will be notified. The proper notice will come on the chalkpad as well as on the mail. Okay, that will be the end of the session. Thank you very much.